This last week saw the passing of Paul Di'Anno, the original lead singer for Iron Maiden. He sang on the original Iron Maiden debut album and the second album Killers. I've been a huge Maiden fan forever, so today I thought I'd give a little lesson on a song from the first album, Phantom of the Opera. We'll look at some of the opening riffs in there, and I'll give you some tips on how to deal with the speed and stamina required for playing Steve Harris bass lines. So first things first, let's listen to the section that we're looking at. There's a 2-bar intro and it sounds like this. So before we begin, the lesson material is all there over at the TalkingBass website. You'll find the tab and also the tracks at multiple speeds. Each track is presented at 171, 151 and 131 beats per minute, so you can slowly raise the tempo. Then while you're there, if you'd like to learn by working on riffs like this, you can check out the Groove Trainer course, which develops your technique and harmony knowledge through a set of 120 progressive bass grooves, building up from absolute basics to advanced 16th note syncopated funk. Use the coupon code GROOVE now for a 30% discount and check it out using the link in the description. So the opening line sounds like this. So let's just work through the notes in there. So we're dealing with triplets here, so we're going to be counting as 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and the first two notes, F sharp to G, hammer on there, pick the first note, hammer onto the G, 4th to 5th fret on the D string, comes in before the first beat, so it's an anacrusis. So you have the counting of 1, 2, 3, 4, so think 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then we just hit the last two notes of the triplet. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and Next we have this B, 4th fret of the G string. Play that 3 times for that first triplet. So 1 and then C, B, and down to the G. 5th and 4th on the G string, and then that 5th fret on the D string. And you can just hammer on to the C, so, and then pull off back to the B. But then you pick the G. If you play it slow, you're more likely to pick it, but at high speed, it's a lot easier to hammer on and pull off. And I suspect that's what Steve's doing here. Then we have the D, B, G. It's a G major arpeggio starting at the 5th. So we've got 7th fret to 4th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the D string. Then C, B, G. So 5th fret, 4th fret, G string, 5th fret on the D string. All of these notes picked. So. And then we finish with F sharp, G, A, 4th, 5th and 7th frets on the D string. And then we just drop down for that B, 2nd fret of the A string. And that's the whole of that line. We just repeat it 4 times. So the first few figures there are all based on 8th note triplets, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, or triplet, 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 triplet. But then when we come down, that's all quarter note triplets. So they're just triplets, but half the time. Okay, so instead of thinking 1 and a 2 and we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But listen to the track and you'll hear it. So you want to start really slowly with this line, getting those notes under your fingers, getting the rhythm right, you know, getting the technique right, just starting out slow. And then you can just build up speed. And those hammer-ons there, you know, as you build up speed, you'll realize why they're a good idea. In terms of the fretting hand, I'm starting with the 1st and 2nd fingers there. Then we're using the 4th finger there, the pinky for the D there. Come come back down, first and second fingers, and then I'm actually using the third finger there to catch that C there at the 5th fret of the G string, which allows us to come down, third finger, first finger, and then second finger for the G. Then it's just first, second, and fourth fingers, and then first finger for the B. Then on the 4th repetition, we have something different. So we start the line, and instead of just holding on that B, we have this run up. So this is all triplets, 1 ender, 2 ender, 3 ender, 4 ender, and we come up B, C, D, E. So 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th frets on the A string. So 3 notes on each. And I'm using the first finger, second finger, fourth finger, and then moving with the fourth finger up for the 5th to the 7th fret. Then we move up onto the D string. We have G, A, B. So there I'm playing the 5th, 7th, and 9th frets. First finger, and I actually use the fourth finger and then move up with the fourth finger. But you can use the third finger if you want. And then we jump up to the 12th fret. So D, and then the 14th fret for the E. So we're playing on that E and then just using that D to lead back into it again. So and then at the end of that we come down. So E, D, B, and then we're into the main riff. So very slowly the whole thing. And up here at the top, I'm using the first finger and third finger. So in terms of the picking here, I'm starting with the second finger and alternating. I've got the thumb on the E string there while I'm playing. Then again, switching over onto the D string, I actually move the thumb to the A string there, so that I'm a little bit closer to the action with the thumb. You should still be on the second finger there, so that's your leading finger. And then I'm using the first finger of the fretting hand to move up to this D, and we're just still alternating all the way. So. While learning this line, do not work to a metronome or the tracks at first. Get the line under your fingers. A lot of the speed that you need comes from familiarity of the notes and the physical movement. The same goes for every riff that we're covering here. Play it slow, to your own tempo, until you have it totally memorized, and then you can try with the tracks. So at the website, I've got tracks devoted to each of these sections. So for this section, we've again got 131, 151, and 171 beats per minute, so you can work up in speed. And for this first section, there are no drums there on the original, so it's just going to be hi-hat on the track to keep you in time. So you'll get 2 bars in. You've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the actual tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, but you've got a half-time count on the first bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, to bring you in. And then when it gets to the final section with the hi-hats are going to double you. Now, just a quick word on picking technique. A lot of Steve's sound, speed and stamina is a result of his bass setup and his relaxed picking. He has very heavy gauge flat wound strings, 110 on the low E and 50 on the G string. That's very, very heavy and similar to the James Jamerson Labella set. So here I'm just using a basic standard set at 105 to 45, but I'm using flat wounds, so, you know, the tone's a little bit like it, but I don't have that that heavy set there. So, and I don't have as low an action as he does. But, you know, you do get a little bit of that clank in there. So my biggest tip here is to pick lightly. Relax the hand and the forearm. To be honest, if you already have good stamina, good picking technique, you'll probably be more relaxed anyway. But if you can't quite reach the speed, or you burn out after a few bars or even a few seconds, focus on picking lightly and relaxing. If you're tensing up, you'll never reach any kind of speed. No matter how amazing your technique is, tension is going to be your enemy, especially in a live environment. So now let's look at the next section. We begin with the main riff that sounds like this. So we're on an E here, 7th fret of the A string. We play 3 notes there, that triplet. And then we have G at the 10th fret, back to that E. So. And then we repeat it. And then G, D. 5th fret on the D and the A string. So. So this riff is the main basis for all of the sections that we're looking at today. So you just, you know, want to begin by just learning that riff, just getting it down under your fingers. Just start out slow. Notice I'm playing with the 1st and the 4th finger there. And then 1st finger for the 2 notes there. And I'm starting with the 2nd finger of the picking hand. Just practice that round and round. This riff can be great practice for working on your speed picking. Just start out slow, and then once you have it up to speed, you can just keep going. But remember, stay relaxed. So we play that riff 4 times and then we shift it up to an F sharp. So we're going to move up onto the D string now, 4th fret and 7th fret of the D string. So play it twice and then just shift everything up a half step to G. Play that again. And again. So it's 3 times on that, which can actually catch you out, you know, the first time that you're trying to learn it. After playing that 3 times, we have... So E, B, C, D, all played as quarter note triplets. And then D, G, D. So that's 5th fret on the A and D string. And then we're back. So all of that slowly. And again, we can try playing that through the different speeds of backing tracks. the third section, we have a variation on our main riff. So instead of that G down to the D, we're just playing the D, play it as a quarter note triplet. 1, 2, 3. So we played that twice. Then we have our... And then we just have the riff again twice. So if you've learned all of those previous riffs, this one's very simple. So now let's try that with the tracks. So finally, you can put all those sections together. Try playing them slowly away from the tracks, and then you can try through the different speeds until you reach the final tempo of 171. Okay, so Phantom of the Opera is a pretty long song with lots of other sections. If I was to work through the whole thing, we'd be here all day. But by playing through that opening section, you should get a feel for the riffs, and by building your technique up through the different tracks, staying relaxed at all times, you'll be more prepared for adding more and more riffs from the song. Then check out this video for some more advice on playing Steve Harris lines. I worked through the song Run to the Hills, which from a stamina standpoint might have you literally running to the hills. So check that out, and rest in peace, Mr. Paul Di'Anno.